Welcome to A Mess in the Kitchen, the podcast all about demystifying home cooking. I'm Molly Mogren-Cat, a food and travel writer who loves to cook but is only so-so at it. My co-host, Dusty Kugler, is a former food stylist, caterer, and food fanatic that always makes cooking look effortless and somehow manages to clean up after herself in the process. We talk recipes, cooking tips and techniques, our favorite kitchen gear, mishaps, and successes. We believe eating good food at home doesn't have to be so complicated, and if you screw up, who cares? That's why God invented frozen pizza. Here's the show. Hey there, it's Molly Mogren-Cat with our favorite homemaker expert, Dusty Kugler.
It's better than saying old lady.
Oh my God, I would never say that.
Okay, good.
So, welcome to A Mess in the Kitchen.
Yippee.
Yay! Oh my gosh. Well, of course, I'm just going to be honest about this. We had to literally start this episode over because we can't stop yakking about things that aren't related to our show.
Yep. Whoops.
But I'm just going to get right into it. Otherwise, next thing you know, we're going to be talking about, I don't even know, dog grooming. Who knows?
Yeah, we don't want to start over again.
No.
Whoops.
So, I thought we should talk a little bit about meal trains. Choo-choo today, which producer Twyla said is kind of a Midwestern thing, which I didn't really realize.
I didn't actually realize it until she said it. I guess I'd noticed it before when I've given gifts and done things like that or food, I should say, or, you know, like a service, like cleaning or whatever. And a girlfriend was super surprised by it who lives on the East Coast. So I guess I didn't know it, but did.
So maybe we should talk a little bit about what a meal train is.
Mm-hmm.
Why don't you say? Because I guess I've never been involved in a like an actually organized one. You know, sometimes someone's like, "I'm going to organize the meal train."
Yep.
Does that mean that they're like, does the train come in because it's like a series of drop-offs? Or I don't get it.
It is. It's actually. I've been on both sides of the meal train.
Yes, you have.
So the first time, well, I guess you can kind of generalize by saying if you have someone sick or they lost a parent or a sibling or
had a baby.
It could be a good thing or a bad thing. Just when someone needs some support is probably like the best way to put it. Like, I'm stressed or I'm tired or you don't need to worry about that kind of thing. Like, I want to help. So everyone always wants to help.
Yeah.
They just don't know what to do. So usually there's an overly organized person in every group, right? Everybody's got that person. And they just kind of think of like, how can we make this easier on whoever the person is? And so that's sort of where it started, I think. And babies. Like when people have babies, people want to help. Like they want to come hold the baby, but they also want to leave with, here, this is great for you. Then, you know, one less thing for you to worry about.
Yeah, because well, I've just had 2 babies in the last 3 years, and feeding yourself is super hard.
And until you have a situation like that, it's really hard to think that way. That's the one thing I noticed. So I was the second of all of our friends to have kids in Chicago. My first friend, Alicia, sort of inadvertently taught me this. It's impossible to sit down and eat a meal when you have a baby. Like you don't know what to do. You're tired. You look like crap all the time. You're just like, oh, I just want to take a shower. So she brought over, when I had Rafferty, chicken salad, which is like so great because you can just throw it on something or in something. Like you don't have to think about it. Soups, like bunches of things you can put in the freezer or just like easy eating stuff. Fruit, things you never want to cut up. You don't have time to do that. It's just there. So that's sort of the premise of it. Easy stuff you don't have to think about.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's funny because, like, didn't you realize after you had kids, you're like, oh, I've been kind of an asshole to people who have had kids.
Yes.
Because you just like...
Well, and not even kids. Also, like, birthday presents and, like, people who take time to come to your bachelorette party. I mean, whatever it is of, like, oh, my gosh, I so appreciated that. I think I probably said it, but... the thank you note is like so nice. And then when you have a baby, then you're like, oh my God, don't ever write me a thank you note again. Yes. Or you have a, loss in your family or whatever it is. You're like, that, I know you mean it, so I don't need it. There are certain people that really need it. which is
Yes.
weird to me now.
Yes.
But it's like you learn a lot of things. It's just from experience, right?
Totally.
You're just like, oh, that took time for you to like get on a plane, come spend time with me. Like, thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
So there we are off the subject again.
No,
Let's
no,
go back
it's
to the
not
meal
even.
train.
So, like, I guess, do you want to talk about some do's and don'ts with meal train things? Here, can you explain, first of all? Because most of my experience from this is just from having kids.
Mhm.
And then you've had the kid thing, but then you also had the cancer thing.
Yeah.
Which,
Yeah, that was different. So,
yeah.
yes. So I luckily had an overly organized friend who also is food focused as we are.
Yes.
And had experience with like people having babies and other things of like, okay, we want to make sure that through chemo. So I had breast cancer.
When was that?
Gosh, 2012. This is 7 years in April.
Wow.
I know, isn't that crazy?
Yes.
Woohoo me. So very excited about that. But when that happened, it was a year after my sister passed away. Bummer. And
Also from breast cancer.
yeah, though neither of us tested positive for that gene. How weird is that?
I don't get it.
Well, as my oncologist said, we just don't have the test for that gene yet, right? I just don't have the BRCA gene. Neither did my sister.
Mm-hmm.
Thankfully for my kids, but we're going to be on it. So back to losing things.
Yeah.
Got my boobs cut off. That wasn't fun, but that took way more out of me than like the chemo and stuff. But when you get the diagnosis and then they like say, here's your health plan, you're like, okay, I've got a 6-year-old. Wait, how old are my kids? I got little kids. And how am I going to do all this? That's the thing where the meal train and like all of this stuff comes in, because you're like, oh, I don't have to worry about anything except for like feeling good and making sure my kids are okay with this, or my family, or if you don't have kids, like my spouse, or if you don't have a spouse, my family, whatever it is, my friends, whatever your support system, because they, being the caregiver, like that is so hard because you have no control. Like being the sick one, and this is weird, I always say this, it's so much harder to be the caregiver than it is the actual patient, because patient, it just happens to you and you have to deal with it.
Mm-hmm.
The caregiver or the family member, whatever it is, you have zero control over it, and all you do is worry. So you want to do whatever you can. It's like so much more stressful.
I agree. I mean, I haven't been in that situation, but
It is. I've been in both.
Yeah.
And it's so stressful to like, what do I do? What do I do?
So basically, so for a meal train scenario, what you're wanting to do is like alleviate some of that stress, not just for the person who's sick, but for their
the
whole
meal
family.
train, for at least for us. So we had the best of both worlds. Our friend Kelly, super overly organized, not only scheduled out, and I'll explain how she did it.
Mm-hmm.
Thankfully for technology, you can do it online. She did meals for us, but also cleaning, which as anal retentive as I am about my house, to be able to like have my house clean was amazing to me, because that's the one thing I couldn't like lift things and do things. So like that was awesome to know that my kids weren't like rolling around in squalor.
It's true,
Not that I wouldn't, and that that wouldn't have happened, but
right.
Anyway, so how you can do this, I've also organized it for another friend who had cancer a few years after me. You know what they do and don't do, right? Like some people eat out more. Some people like to do those meals at the grocery store that you just throw it all in a pan and, whatever it is. The person that's organizing this most likely knows a lot about you. So they can just say, like, I know she likes this. I know he likes this. The kids have this kind of schedule. And then you just sort of figure it out. What Kelly did, which was different than a lot of them, is that she was specific about the food enough that she didn't have people sign up to bring things. She actually had people give as much or as little money, which felt weird at first.
Yeah.
Because I was like, I don't need people's, like you feel like I don't need people's money. When people are dropping off like a hot dish or a lasagna, there's that Midwestern thing.
Yeah.
It's different than like, oh, write me a check for $50 or whatever.
Yep.
But she was super thoughtful because she's a great writer and wrote this thing about like Everybody wants to do it. Not everybody is a cook. Not everybody is this. They like to eat at these places. If you don't want to do money, how about a gift card to the grocery store or like their favorite restaurant or whatever? And she listed, it was very specific. But most people were like, oh my God, I don't have time to make soup. This is amazing. Here's $20 or whatever. And she did for however many weeks I had chemo. I had 4 treatments every 3 weeks. So it was through the entire summer. And they had the cleaning person come, I think like once a month or something, or once every 3 weeks. I don't even remember, to be honest with you. And then she knew somebody who was a caterer, and they just sent, here's what your possibilities are. And they just had a couple of things for 3 people. And it was like twice a week, because you don't need all that stuff with, like, you know, my husband was still going to the grocery store getting cereal and, you know, all that kind of stuff, lunch meat for that. But it was like just to have meals that they could eat. I really didn't even really eat that much of it, to be honest with you. I ate yogurt and granola. That's all I wanted.
I remember that, because it's like the one thing too is that, you know, especially if someone is going through something like cancer, how everything tastes weird.
Yeah, and it is really more for the family, except for, I will say, if you're by yourself or maybe your significant other travels a lot or whatever that is. Another thing that I experienced is that a friend of mine had cancer and her husband was gone a lot, and people signed up to drive her to her radiation. And, you know, that's every day when you do radiation. It's Monday through Friday. And just to, like, have her not worry about parking. Yeah. Like, that is like, hey, no problem. I'll drop you off. I'll be up there in a minute. You want a coffee or whatever. It's the same thing as a meal train. It's like, same with the cleaning. It's just like so nice. It's an organized way to just help. And people want to help.
Yeah, and that is totally, that's true. And I think a lot of times people in that situation don't want to.
You don't want to ask.
Yeah, or that's like I feel like that's one of the big things you hear from people is like, how can I help you? People don't want to tell you how to help. Just help someone who just had a baby. Help someone who's sick. Just like, don't ask too many questions. Just do something.
But it is great when you have somebody that's organized or has been through it before or something, where they take the lead and then the other people just have to go, oh yeah. Whether it is like, you know, I mean, it's organized. I did one for our friend Tony, who did not want to do like the catering thing because she had a shorter amount of something, and they have really, really picky kids and like bad allergies, like a nut allergy, like that was a killer. Yeah. So it was like more so of gift cards, and for Byerly's, I think I went grocery shopping for them once. We had a cooler outside their house.
Oh, that's a good tip.
And you have to drop off in a time, like not right at dinner time. You want to just, the people are kind of private at that time too, because you feel kind of crappy, and then the kids like feel strange sometimes. So it's like drop off between a specific time, have the cooler there so that, you know, somebody can come out and get it. You don't have to have a conversation. That's where it gets weird, I think, sometimes, is that someone brings over something and you're not really feeling well. This kind of alleviates that too, because it's like, you know, then you just text like, hey, I want to see you. When does it work for you? Versus, hi, here I am with your food. Now you have to talk to me for 30 minutes.
Totally. Totally. Not to mention like germs. That's a problem if somebody's sick, or if someone has a new baby, germs problem. Yeah. So like, it's good to just like drop off something on your porch or whatever.
Yeah. And I do think people are like worry about, oh, I don't want to bother them, so I don't want to do it. So this is like a great way, an organized way. And you can have that middleman who's sort of the organizer of like, should I do this? You can ask that person instead of the family or the person that's sick or just had the baby or whatever. Yeah. Kind of helps. It's like a middleman.
Exactly. So like what are some good things you think to drop off at somebody's house that's going through some stuff?
So I think for sure the stuff that's easy to eat, like stuff that you can grab and go, or that anybody in your family can grab, like the chicken salad thing, I think is great. Everyone loves bag salad, whether you say you do or don't. Like, agreed. It's just so easy. Anything you can do that's low maintenance. I think those new things, like those HelloFresh or those things at grocery stores where it's sort of like a meal in a box or whatever, those things are great. And then I think you never can go wrong with, like, one of the best things that someone did bring, which I thought I would never think of that was just one or two kinds of bread, one or two, like a rotisserie chicken, a pesto pasta salad, I think it was, like fruit salad, cookies, like everything that you probably would eat it's like unconscious eating.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's stuff you just buy but it's like labor intensive. Like chicken salad's kind of hard to make, right? I mean, it just takes a little time. Granola, kind of a pain. You can buy all that stuff. It just tastes better. Chicken soup, people love that. But like bread, things that can last more than one meal, I guess that's probably a better.
I think for sure getting stuff that's like not time sensitive. So I was talking to Josh, my husband, about this last night. It's like something that you can either eat immediately, put in the fridge and eat in a few days, or put in the freezer and eat in like a month.
Someone brought us, so great, and I'm going to do this for somebody else. I just remembered it right now. A ham, like a spiral ham.
Yes, like a honey baked ham.
Yeah, but it was like they made it.
What?
It was not. It was probably Kelly. It wasn't like spicy or too sweet. So that's the other thing too. With at least with like breastfeeding, or if you're have an illness, it's hard. You can't go super spicy. You can't go. I mean, it's just you never know how people are going to react to that. So you want to make sure that you're like pretty vanilla. Just got to taste good. But a ham and biscuits, and she might have brought like one of those take and bake baguettes or whatever, so you can put it in the freezer or keep it, whatever it is. And then I think this is very Midwestern, like a potato. I call them Aunt Donnie potatoes. My sister used to make them all the time. The ones that are like cubed potatoes, cream of whatever soup.
Top with cornflakes?
Yes.
Okay.
That. Because that is like total slap on the plate, put in the microwave, eat it whenever. Like super easy.
Uh-huh.
Super easy stuff.
Yeah.
That was a good one.
Totally. And this was one thing, okay, for me, after I had my kids, all I wanted, I mean, I would have been totally content eating, and in fact, left to my own devices, I would have only eaten like English muffins with peanut butter, because it was like, that's as much as I could muster. I couldn't think of anything else, but I love when people brought me cut up like fruits and vegetables with dip or something. Because it was like a healthy, quick thing to eat.
And you didn't have to do anything.
No. It was so awesome. And the other thing I loved, so, I mean, because you can totally make something for somebody, which I feel like I've never done, honestly. Or I have. I've like brought over lunch or something for a friend, but I haven't like made a lasagna and brought it to somebody's house or whatever. But I'm a big fan of like gift cards and like Bite Squad. It's like a good one.
Yeah, I'm too old for Bite Squad.
What?
I always forget about it.
Oh.
I'm like, nothing delivers. Wait, everything delivers. What?
But my favorite thing I got when I had both of my kids was, and you ordered it, but it was from Andrew, but I know it was really from you, was Russ and Daughters. So I got a box of really yummy bagels. Bagels. How do you say bagel?
I say bagel, but I think everyone in Minnesota says bagel.
Bagel?
And milk and pillow. It's so weird.
I know. I don't know.
And
big.
It's just bag.
And bars. So it was that and smoked salmon, cream cheese. There was what was that bread? The babka, the chocolate babka bread.
Yeah, and then the chocolate covered stuff that I gave you, or that Andrew gave you. The chocolate covered like nuts and fruits.
Yeah. And it was so nice because it was like easy to make, but it felt like a treat. Like I never would have treated myself to that in a million years. But it was so nice to just have that kind of. And that's the other thing is like, I feel like sometimes if you're trying to really make somebody, love someone up with food, which I think we both really like to do, is to get people things that they maybe wouldn't treat themselves to, like fancy drinks. You know what I mean? Like kombucha or like the fancy sparkling water or
sparkling wine.
Or sparkling wine. Yeah, or beer.
Yes.
And that feels like, or like the expensive juices,
Yeah, the stuff where you walk by at the store, you're like, I'm not going to get that.
Yeah, because it's like $10.
Yeah, but it's good to buy for other people, like that pimento cheese at Byerly's. What is it? It's
I don't know.
Good. It's like $13. It's so good. Anyway, Yeah, no, I think that's a big thing. It's like just it's a treat. It is a treat. Like it's a treat for them and for their family or whoever they live with. I think it's just a really kind gesture.
Yeah, and the other thing too is like, so for me, part of the reason I maybe don't drop off food at people's house when I definitely should is like I feel like whatever I'm gonna make is not like good enough. But I think that's
Well, so interesting that you say that. So I had somebody who was a mom at school with my kids who had tongue cancer. So when you have tongue cancer, there's a lot of surgical things going on and everything's really hard to eat, right? It's like, oh, and so I kept thinking, what in the world am I going to bring over there? Obviously, I wanted to bring things because she has a husband and 2 sons, but I also was like, she's got to be able to eat some of this, right? So if you're not somebody that's comfortable cooking, you are. But if you're not, if you aren't, because, you know, a lot of people who are listening probably aren't. I went to a local like bakery sort of thing in Turtlebread that has awesome soup. And I just asked them for like, what is the one that is the easiest to eat?
yeah.
You know, nothing chunky in there or whatever. But I knew that the family would like it and she would be able to eat it. And so I got 2 big things of just soup. It wasn't overly expensive. And then bread for the kids. Like she wasn't. And she sent me an email. It was like, I am so happy that I got to eat something. Like,
Oh my God.
I've been putting food in the blender, but actually to have something that's like real food and we're eating the same thing. She was like, it was so good. So you don't have to cook everything yourself.
No.
You can just go to a place of like, you know, there's plenty of places in Minneapolis, but I mean, wherever, there's got to be a place where you can go to with prepared foods, like something as easy as soup and bread and some cookies. And like, that is super easy.
Okay, question for you. When you say cookies, now here's one thing that I really didn't like, or don't like, is like when I want like a couple cookies, not like a dozen or 2 dozen cookies. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
What? Were you just checking your phone?
I think I heard it ringing. That's
I did
why.
too, but oh well. Who cares?
I thought
I mean, not who cares, but
I'm gonna wheel over there and make sure it's off.
no, but I just don't like it.
Say pan and drop it off, and then it's like I'm never gonna get my pan back, even
Yeah.
if you write your name on the bottom of it. So those things are awesome. Or like you can get the cheapo Target brand Tupperware
Yeah,
things to put soup or whatever in. It's just like great. Then they can pass it on to someone else.
totally.
Super
I know.
easy.
It's like I don't. That's the thing. Like don't expect your stuff back. Just go into it with that in mind, and then also don't expect a thank you.
Yeah,
like, don't expect it. You might get one.
Yeah, it's a lot of work. The thank yous are a lot of work. And I mean, at least for me, being on both sides of it, I know everybody knows that I appreciate it. Though I will say we did one big thank you, but my kids wrote it.
Yes, they
So,
did.
and they really benefited from all of the stuff that people did for us. So I felt like that was totally appropriate.
Yeah.
And people probably appreciated a thank you for my kids more than me.
Well,
I think.
and it was really cute.
It was cute.
It was so cute.
That's another Kelly idea.
That Kelly.
I know.
She's got it. She's got it all figured out.
Okay, so what else? You asked me what some go-tos were. Like, what were your favorite things that you got besides the stuff from Andrew? Because that was good stuff.
It was good stuff. I mean, a lot of it's all just really super simple stuff. Like, well, for example, my friend Carolyn brought me a really yummy pasta salad, but she was like, and I think this is the key, is she was just making it for her own family and then just doubled the recipe.
Yeah.
And then brought the other half over to my house. I'm like, okay, perfect. This is awesome.
No, it's great.
And I did that with enchiladas for somebody. That's a good one.
That is a good one. That is a really good one.
I feel like people get a lot of pizza and a lot of lasagna.
Lots of lasagna. And not to say, and it's funny, it's like that's the joke. Like, oh, I ended up with 12 lasagnas. It's like you do have a way in that meal sign up. So we'll go back to the like, you can do it online. There is a way to put in there, kindly
Yes.
what you do and don't want. Like people want to know. People don't want to say like, I don't know if they like this or whatever. So like I said, when we did Tony's, we were super specific about the things that Olivia or her kids could not have. Like, you can't even touch the container to it. So if it's anything
Yeah, can you
related,
imagine?
just-
It's like, not only does Mom have cancer, but now Olivia had to get like a
EpiPen.
EpiPen.
Yeah, so people are, I mean, they want to know. I mean, if people are kind enough to help, they want to make sure they're doing, the right thing.
Totally.
So I think we put in there something about repeating. It was more so like repeating something. It's just a place you can sign up your name. There's a bunch of websites now that you can use, like Sign Up Genius and something else. I don't know what it is. It's got a little descriptor.
Maybe we can add those in the show notes.
Yeah.
Or something.
And they're great. And they're great. And there's little lines. You put your name on there. You give specific times when you're going to drop off. The person who's organizing, like I said, either has a cooler or, something. Because, sometimes it's summer. Sometimes it's winter. You never know.
Yep.
So you got to put them in there. And then you can put exactly what you're making, and then that way every single person that signed up can see like, oh, well, she just had chicken soup, I'm not going to bring that, like what else can I do? Or you have the ability to change it too. You could just say like picking up Payway, I don't know, is that a place?
Yes, it is.
Something like that.
It is a place.
Yeah, like, and that I think is great. And just so they kind of know what's going on, but it's good to be able to see what other people are bringing, so you're not doubling up or bringing something that's similar in that way.
Totally.
It's just working.
Oh, I thought of two other things that are kind of the same that I've done for people. And one is, Williams Sonoma online has a whole like frozen crock pot meal thing you can do. So you can like get
Really?
Yes, and I did this for my cousin who got in a terrible snowmobile accident last year.
Jeez.
Yeah, like shattered his legs and stuff. How bad is that? He's okay. And then we did this for my friend Heidi, whose son is sick right now. But we had these. It's like super fancy feeling crockpot meals that are frozen. You can get delivered to somebody's house.
Oh wow, that's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
I forgot another one.
What?
Breakfast.
Oh God, yeah.
Breakfast is always good because it's like, I know some people in this room don't eat breakfast for dinner, or maybe that's your husband. Okay. But I do. But people do like total Midwestern egg bake, or just doing a bunch of like egg salad, and not that that's breakfasty, or like a bunch of turkey bacon, like a bunch of things where you can just bring, and they can always make an egg sandwich or something like that.
How about this? Have you had those quiches at Costco?
No.
They're so good.
Ooh, I'm going there today.
Yes, you
Where
should get
are they?
them.
End cap,
yes,
right?
Yes,
I've seen
in
them.
the refrigerated section.
Hmm.
The brand begins with an F. I can't remember. There's two of them that you get.
Huh. Are they different flavors?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's
like a
good.
spinach artichoke, and the other one's like a ham and something.
That's one thing we did when somebody had a baby. I don't remember, it was so long ago, but Kelly and I together made 1 or 2 quiches and 1 or 2 salads, and then had breads and stuff, and then something else I can't remember. Maybe just candy.
Candy sounds good.
Yeah, I think like her favorite candy. Magazines, magazines are always good to give to people too.
I agree.
Magazines are good.
I agree.
It doesn't always have to be food.
It doesn't. Food helps, but
babysitting, that's a good one to give. Or just getting the kids out of the house. Mm-hmm. That's a good one. Like, I can't remember who it was, took the kids to the Children's Museum and something. And because I was like, it was a Saturday. I think Prentice was out of town, and they weren't that young. They were like, 6th grade. And no, wait, I'm not even going to do the math. Anyway, they weren't super young. Right. So they were totally aware of what was happening. They were super scared and like just get their mind off of it. That's a really good one. If you can just take, the family members to go do something, or like if it's a husband or a significant other, and just take them out to lunch and have a couple drinks or something, just to like get their mind off of what's going on. That kind of stuff is like priceless.
Totally. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. You would know better than me with that, but
yeah, I kind of don't remember. It's kind of like childbirth.
But see, this is exactly why it's good to help people. It's like, because you don't remember, because you're so focused on like what is going on with your health and yourself. That it's one less thing to worry about.
That is true.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I don't really have anything else to say about this.
I don't think so
Do you?
either. No, I think we said enough.
Oh God, we probably said too much.
Probably. just do it. That's what I would say.
Just do it and don't ask too many questions.
Yeah, even if you're uncomfortable, it doesn't matter. That's the thought. Like the kindness is like, it goes way longer than like the, oh, should I do that?
I know. Oh, I hate Linda. She brought over a salad and a lasagna. What a butthole. Like, no.
Yeah.
It's never going to happen. That's not going to happen.
No, but it's just nice. It's nice.
Okay.
It's Minnesota nice.
It is Minnesota nice. And speaking of Minnesota nice, thanks for listening to A Mess in the Kitchen. You're so nice. Thank you for listening to A Mess in the Kitchen podcast. We're really impressed that you made it all the way to the end. You can learn more about our show at amessinthekitchen.com. You can also find us on Facebook and Instagram. The show is produced by Twyla Dang of Matriarch Digital Media. Check them out. She's got tons of great shows at matriarchdm.com. If you like the show, please rate and review us. It helps new people find the show. And until next time, here's to good enough cooking. Cheers.